Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. I wasn't running late. I really was not running late. I just forgot that it started at 4:15. Thought it started at 4:30. Thought I started at 4:30. So that's why I'm running late. No other reason besides that, right? How are y'all this afternoon? I see Osmos. I see some other things here. Repink is a new member. Thank you, Repink. And Tehelism. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, Osmos. Hello, hello, hello. I got stuck on this subject because I didn't want to be dealing with that P. Diddy garbage, right? I wanted to get on this subject about ABBA and Stevie. Trying to figure out, why are they still beefing? Why are these two still beefing? This was the original. Apparently, it was a debate. It was an original debate. And these two got into it. I thought it was reasonable. But come to find out, people didn't like the things that Stevie had to say. So Stevie Knight is a content creator known primarily for doing reaction videos, especially around rap and hip hop, okay? As well as commentary and social issue discussions. So he decided he was going to come over and ask ABBA if he wanted to debate. Why did he want to debate ABBA? Because ABBA had a reaction video to Charlie Kirk. And Stevie didn't like what ABBA had to say about Charlie Kirk. You know, he had the reaction that a lot of people have had. He didn't appreciate Charlie Kirk and some of his views. And so Stevie Knight came over and said, hey, we're about to do a debate. And so when he did the debate, it did not go well for him, right? Because it centered around kids and food. That was the bad part about it. It centered around the fact that this young man, Stevie Knight, decided that he didn't want to feed homeless kids, or he didn't want to feed poor kids, which is the viewpoint, I'm assuming, that might be on the right, that they don't want to hand out to people, and they don't want to give handout to people. And so that was the thought, and that was the stand that Stevie Knight went to. But come to find out, it really wasn't Stevie Knight's thought process. It was Charlie Kirk's thought process. And Stevie J didn't even have a thought as to what he actually wanted, which kind of pissed off ABBA. So this is where we at with them going back and forth with each other. So with a series of events, the series of videos, right after first debate, this is right after the first debate, this video here that they had together. So Stevie went back on his channel, and then Stevie started sort of kind of bad-mouthing ABBA. And this is his next video.
Should go get the job. You
on somebody to do it, bro. Like, you know, you're shitty parents. I get it, dog. This life is fucking hard, dog. And some children are born in fucked up circumstances, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah, but I had a debate with Stevie Knight from Night Talk. He reached out to me to have a discussion after he covered our Kirk video a while back. There's like two parts that really threw me off a lot.
There should be free school lunch for all children.
No.
Why?
Of course not. Because parents should feed their kids, not the government.
What if they can't?
Let's go get a job.
A child?
The parents should go get the job. You are a Dem, dude. don't give me this stuff. First of all, this is really.
I want children to eat.
Of course I do. Show me a single child in America going hungry. Doesn't exist. It does not.
So every talking point that Charlie had regarding kids eating free lunch, free school. I mean, I think you're a monster if you can't feed poor people. That's just my thought. But Stevie said he didn't care one way or the other. So it really kind of pissed Abba off.
Not exist. We have a child obesity problem.
So I'm like, if you just Google it, what he said is a blatant lie. But the smugness with which he said that.
Says in the U.S., around 13 to 14 million children experienced food insecurity in recent years, with 1 in 5 children lacking consistent access to enough food. This condition, known as food insecurity, means families don't have reliable access to enough food. The number has seen a significant increase, with 2022 data showing a rise in child food insecurity, reversing previous declines.
So it's like 17 million kids go without food. So, I mean, you kind of have to be kind of heartless to say you don't want to help people who don't have food. I mean, that's just my viewpoint, right? And it doesn't matter whether the person can afford to or not. I am one of those people that if you give kids food, school food, lunch, then a kid shouldn't starve you shouldn't be starving that much. And that's the least our country can do. And Kirk was saying, no kid is starving. No kid starves. Yes, kids do starve. And the reason why I say kids do is because, and the reason why me and Charlie would never agree is because Charlie is coming from an elitist point of view. When you have everything, you have enough money to feed yourself, you have enough money to feed your family, you come across as very elitist, as though you don't care about the poor people. And this is the problem that I have with a lot of people on the right. It's like you're craving, and you come across, and that's what people don't like, is that you can't look outside of yourself and see that other people need help besides you. That's the whole point of when you vote. You vote to help the collective. You don't just vote for yourself. You look at what things are for yourself, but then you also think about what is good for the whole as a country. And making sure that children are not starving is good for the whole of the country, which is what Abba was trying to tell him.
But where in that does it say kids are starving?
See, he doesn't understand the word starving, or he doesn't understand that scarcity is just a polite way of saying starving children. So he's thinking it's very low food to be found. No, some people just cannot feed, don't have the money to feed, and not able to feed their children. It just is what it is. He can't see that.
Switching words out now, man. Food insecurity is entirely different than starving. That was the question posed in that debate with Kirk. And even with addressing this topic, I mean, I haven't seen where he's going with it, bro. But this video was one of the videos Alba cherry picked to manufacture a narrative about Kirk trying to highlight him as disgusting.
No, it wasn't a matter of Abba highlighting Kirk as disgusting. He was just highlighting Kirk as being a monster because he said there's no scarcity, or there's no food scarcity for poor kids. No poor kids, no kids that don't starve. There's no starving kids in the United States. That was his stance. Although we have about 17 million people who starve every day, kids and adults. Okay? Kids and adults. So this is what he's trying to defend. If you don't know what his stand is, you shouldn't be trying to defend it. Nobody should be defending. I'm not going to have I'm not going to have a discussion with people that tell me you can't. We have an obesity problem. We also have a scarcity problem. We also have a starving problem, Osmos. Nobody said anything about obesity. That's the whole point. Why did Kirk bring obesity into it? Obesity has nothing to do with it. We have 17 million people that are starving. children and adults that are starving out here. Forget whether it's obesity or not. See, here's the thing. The point that Kirk brought it up because he's saying y'all are fat, so y'all maybe starve and y'all can go without some food because y'all fat. That's the mindset. You're a monster when you think that way. You're a monster when you think that way. Because not all people are eating. Not all people are fat because they eat too much. But this is what Abba was trying to tell him. And this is the defense. This is the stand that Stevie is trying to make.
So like we're moving the goalposts and discussing a different topic. Hopefully he doesn't take, you know what, I'm gonna wait before I get ahead of what's going on here, man, because he may address it.
Okay.
Go get food stamps. You can get food at churches. There's no reason to starve. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's no reason to starve in America. It's like 1% of households, what I say, starve. This is food insecurity. Starving and food insecurity are entirely two different things. You saw the stat. It says starvation is extremely uncommon, extremely rare.
Yes, it's extremely rare. But most people eat 2 to 3 meals a day, at least 2 or 3 meals a day. And these young children don't. So Abba's argument is, why not just provide food in the school and then we don't have to worry about those people starving. We don't have people starving. So because we don't have people dying on the street, we don't have people bent over with ribs showing, we shouldn't worry about this is what I mean. Taking care of your weakest link. When you don't take care of your weakest link, when you're in excess, and when you say there's nobody starving, that's an elitist point of view. That's a point of view that where a king or somebody that's above another person is looking down and saying, you don't need our help. You're not starving, even though I'm eating. They're eating. Why aren't you eating? You're not eating because you're fat. You're too fat to eat. Maybe you should starve. That's the way it sounds. That's the way it comes across.
And thousands of kids. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I'll ask you a question. Which one is higher, the amount of abortions in America or the amount of starving children in America?
So why would you even bring up the abortion issue? Why would you even bring that up? What does that have to do with starving children? It's two totally different topics. See? Stop moving the goalposts. I'm not going to let you move the goalposts. I want to know why you don't want to feed kids and give them school meals. And that's all I'm talking about, giving them is school meals. That's all we're talking about, is providing them with school meals. Every kid goes to school, and some kids may not have eaten and some have. So why not give everybody the basics of a meal, 2 meals every day during school? And we can afford it. As a country, we can afford it. And this is what Abba's trying to tell him, but he doesn't seem to get it. Only thing he heard was some criticism of Kirk. Let's be clear here. People. Kirk was no saint to me. Kirk was a normal, everyday individual to me. He was a regular person who went around to colleges and campuses and talked whatever he talked, his straight talk, whatever he talked. So he can get the smoke just like everybody else gets the smoke. That's all I'm saying. He can get the smoke just like everybody else can get the smoke. He wasn't a saint, so please don't come here and think he's not going to get the smoke. Because if he needs to get the smoke, he needs to get the smoke. Every person that comes here will get the smoke.
Starving kids in America.
Oh, that's cap.
That's cap? Did you Google it? Did you Google it?
I don't need to Google it, but
you don't need facts. But you know what? Facts don't care about how you feel about it. I need you to Google.
And then there was Stevie right there sitting there saying, I don't need to look stuff up. But he didn't know anything about the subject. So he looked goofy on his own. So he got upset with Abba.
And this happens with political violence. That's
Yes,
pretty much
yes,
what you said.
because what I'm getting at is not how he died, what I'm or like in front of who that he died. What I'm focused on is why was he killed. I don't personally care that he was killed on a live stream or in a pre-recorded video.
Do you think
Do
you're the anomaly with that perspective?
No.
You think that most people don't care that he died online?
No, most people don't care. He just died. He was a human being that died. That, whether is a different scenario of being online, but it doesn't matter one way or the other because we really didn't know him.
I think that's the reason why it went viral for sure, but that's not why they care. You don't care about this topic because
what I'm asking you is, you say you don't care that he died on live stream. I'm asking you, do you think most people don't care that he died on live stream?
No. Most people are focused on the fact that he was killed for political reasons. That's what people care about.
Yes. We don't care whether it was online or wherever. We care about the fact that the person died, not whether it was online or not.
No one's outraged by this whole thing because it happened on camera.
I'm not saying they're outraged. I'm just saying that adds more nuance. It makes it worse.
But there was more nuance to it. It makes it more dramatic. George Floyd was killed in front of all of us, and we didn't bat an eye. A lot of people didn't bat an eye. People were horrified, of course. We had people dancing on his grave. So Charlie Kirk was no different than that. To me, they were both human beings. So I don't care whether they died on camera or one was rich, one was poor. It's both tragic, right? So, have the same energy that you had for Kirk that you had for George Floyd. George Floyd may not have deserved as much praise as Charlie Kirk, according to some people, but he still deserved the right as a human being.
Because of that,
but that's in the background. That's not that important. What's really important is that he was killed for political reasons. That's the focus. That's not just a little bit. That's 99% of the focus. None of the coverage that we've been seeing lately is because, like, can you believe that people die on camera? Nobody's talking about.
But that's not my argument.
Come
on, bro. That's not my argument, dog. I'm not saying that it's only important because it happened on camera. I'm saying it's worse than everything else that's happened thus far because it happened the way that it did.
Okay, yeah, I think we'll agree to disagree. I don't think someone dying on camera makes it worse. I think a tragedy, death is death, murder is murder. If you are murdered by somebody on camera in front of bodies, so nobody sees it.
So I played the whole thing. You didn't take nothing out of context, bro. So you tell me what's worse, what just described, or the fact that someone, I don't even know what word to describe that as, demented enough. Is that the correct word? Or desensitized enough, or I don't know what it is, bro. But for someone to say that this assassination happening publicly for the entire world to see, does not make this instant more tragic, and it's no different.
It makes it tragic, Stevie, but it doesn't make it any more tragic than the hundreds of people that get killed every. If I want to be honest, if I really want to be honest, his death means less to me than children who get killed. Absolutely, 100%. I would forget Charlie Kirk's name in the middle of a sentence if you're talking about the importance of him compared to children getting killed. I mean, that's just my thought. He's no more important. He's no more important than the children that are being killed every day out here. So it just is what it is. To me, anyway. Maybe Charlie Kirk's death means more to children than you are, but it doesn't mean more to me. He's no different than anybody else. He's no different than George Floyd or anybody else who gets killed. Because I didn't know George Floyd, didn't care about George Floyd, didn't know Charlie Kirk, don't care about Charlie Kirk. Okay? You all know my 4 priorities.
And then any other murder is asinine. That's problematic. Of course, it's bad because he died from political violence, but right. It's much worse that the entire world saw this man get clipped the way that he did. It was fucking tragic.
Did he have all this energy for George Floyd? Did you have this energy for George Floyd? This is what I say. If you didn't have the energy for George Floyd, calm the fuck down. Cool your britches.
Tragic. People are not meant to see that. Murder is murder is absolutely not the case. Mm-hmm. The severity of the actions, the grotesqueness of the actions And on top of the fact, people were able to see it.
Yes, just like we saw George Floyd. Just like we saw George Floyd. Same energy, my friend, same energy.
Children were able to see it. Students were able to see it. Mothers and fathers were able to see it. It absolutely makes the situation worse. That's much more severe of a societal issue that we're struggling with as a whole.
And that's what I'm saying, Tide Pro. There's children that are out here getting shot and killed. Charlie Kirk is in my rearview mirror. Charlie Kirk, who? We've had 10 plus shootings since then. Charlie Kirk, who?
Because we've been desensitized to things to shit on what happened to Charlie Kirk the way that he did and say it's no different than anything else. And him being assassinated publicly like that doesn't make anything worse, bro. I pose a question to y'all, man. Charlie Kirk dying the way that he did, being assassinated the way he did, being shot down the way that he did, does that make his situation worse? Does that impact society more? Are people?
To me, Maria, they're the same. They're two human beings. They're two men who died at the hands of another human being on camera. That's it. George Floyd didn't make an impact on me, and neither did Charlie Kirk. I do get impacted when I hear about children getting killed. Okay? The children getting killed are more important than Charlie Kirk or George Floyd to me.
Traumatized more? Are people going to have bad dreams more? Are those images going to be burnt in the back of people's minds more? It's entirely different from, back in the day, a death row inmate dying from the death penalty from the chair, and you read about it, but then to actually see it, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's absolutely different reading the amount of abortions that take place in America, but to actually see an abortion take place, the visual provided, bro, it makes the game entirely different, dog. Makes the game entirely different, bro, because
Osmos, those are principles that you believe in. That some, you're supposed to say some, not all. Not all people believed in the principles that Charlie did. Charlie was a heterosexual white male. Do you honestly think that he and I had things in common? Things that we would, and he was 31. He and I had nothing in common. Nothing in common.
Because we're humans, we're not meant to see that shit, and we can empathize much more when we have the action take place in front of us. So to shit on that and say it's equal to just any murder, absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. Honestly, it made me think about, what things Abba has experienced, personally to address it that way.
So he was upset with Abba for Abba calling him out. Abba saying, you don't care about people. You don't care about people who are poor. You don't care about people who are poor. So Abba came back at him again. With a video called The Red Pill, the debate red pilled him. Okay. So they're still going back to that. Right.
Okay,
I don't think they should, but bad shit happens.
On to the next point.
And there's so many people that die from car accidents, bro. It's bad up shit happens. Like, we can't save everybody. We can't save everybody, bro. Like, it is.
But just because we can't save everybody doesn't mean we don't try.
I'm advocating for kids to take advantage of the surplus of food available to them. And
there is no surplus of food. That's what we're trying to explain to you, Stevie. It's not a surplus of food. Where would a child get food from if a child is underage? A child would not be able to get food. A child would just have to deal with what their parents are doing to them. There's shitty parents in here, yes. There's shitty parents here. Nobody's debating that. The whole point is that we know there's shitty parents here, and you see a child starving and you say, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to help that child. What Kirk was advocating for was somebody to look at the parents and say, you're a shitty parent. You need to be taking care of your kids, and I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to help you take care of your kid. Instead of looking at the kid who's starving, who has no direction or not capable of going to get their own food, you're looking at the child saying, I don't care whether your parent is shitty, I ain't feeding you. That's a monster. Okay? We have plenty of money in this country, or money that's going overseas. We have plenty of money in this country that's able to feed all the children in schools. Okay?
The different ways that it is.
Yeah.
It's not on somebody to do it, bro. Like, you know, you shitty parents. I get it, dog. This life is fucking hard, dog. And some children are born in fucked up circumstances, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah, but I had a debate with Stevie Knight from Night Talk. He reached out to me to have a discussion after he covered our Kirk video a while back. There's like two parts that really like threw me off a lot.
There should be free school lunch for all children.
No.
I'm gonna give myself like a 3 out of 10. And this is
Shows you that clip leaving out the context, dog. And you look at that snip, it looks hideous, man. Do you feel like you manufactured a narrative on Kirk by showing those clippets, those snips of him in your video?
See, and this is the issue that I have with people. This is the issue that I have with the Kirk fans. You seem to think that we didn't look at the context of what he's saying. Most people have looked at the context of what he said. Some of the clips, that clip about food, that he's shitty. His take on it is shitty. I'm sorry, some of the things he said were shitty. And that specifically, when it comes to children, was a shitty take. Okay? Because it's what most people on this planet. I'm not helping no poor people. I'm not going to help bum Keisha feed her kid. No, Osmos, I watched the full clip. There's no point in watching any more clips. That's the problem. We got the gist of what he thought, okay? This clip is not out of context. No clips are out of context, okay? You all, every Kirk fan says you got it out of context. We didn't get this clip out of context, okay? Yeah, when the context shows the complete point, they scream out of context. This was out of context, and I know for a fact Abba is very thorough when he comes to facts, when he comes to debate. And I know he looked at the clip, and I know he understands the context. And I understood the context when I heard it too. So no, it's not a matter of us not looking at the context. Abba would have definitely looked at the context. And he got the same take that I did. You all just don't like that your golden boy Charlie was shitty to other human beings. That's all. I mean, it is what it is.
Video.
you said I took him out of context, right?
Not even take him out of context. You put your context on it.
A few minutes later.
Okay. And then you said that we were kind of dishonest with how we did that we clipped him out of context, and then we put our own context, right?
No, I'm not saying you put your own context. You didn't put the entire context. You put your context on it.
Taking someone out of context doesn't mean that you don't play their entire argument. That's not what taking someone out of context is.
I don't know what you're talking about, Osmos. I don't know what you're talking about. Abba is lining up with your views. Yes, my views about feeding poor kids. Yes, that is my view. That's Abba's view. That when you don't care about feeding kids, regardless of who gave birth to them, that says something about you. Now, Kirk has the view that he don't want to feed any kids, regardless of whose kids they are. To me, that means there's something wrong with you. So it has nothing to do with Abba and Preach lining up with anything I say.
Someone out of context, for example, you grab a gun, you shoot somebody.
I've watched Abba and Preach for years. For years.
I play that clip and I'm like, this guy's a murderer. Not realizing that the full context is that this person had attacked you first, and then you pulled out the gun, and then you shot him. That would be taking someone out of context, right? Because in a form of self-defense, I instead made you look like a murderer.
Yeah.
If I play an abortion discussion and you say, I'm against my daughter who was raped, who's 10 years old, aborting the child, whatever it is.
Would you want her to go through that and carry her?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes.
So are we going to take this out of context, Osmos? Millions of views on it. Are we going to take this context? Or him having his child have a baby? Are we going to take this out of context? Come on now. Sooner or later, you got to admit your buddy is not as nice as he was he's being portrayed as. He was shitty to some people. Sometimes, at some point, you got to admit that.
The baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
The idea that you're taking out of context is like, maybe that's not what you meant or whatever. Now you can say, Abba, you weren't very charitable when you played those clips. You didn't give him the best light. I agree with that. But at the same time, I don't think there's a light that makes that better. Probably anti-abortion. Am I right?
No, I don't know. I could care less. I respect his stance. I'm not pro, I'm not anti. I respect his stance. I don't agree with it, of course, but I respect it. I never said I don't give a fuck about what anybody does with abortion.
But did you say it's a bigger problem?
Yeah, I said it's a bigger problem. But I didn't give a solution to it. I know it's a problem. But I never said what I want to do about it. I could care less.
And keep in mind too, we put out our video maybe a week after. So by this point, Charlie Kirk had been in the news for a good 7 days. Everyone talking about his politics, his faith. It's like it's a pro-life argument. We all know you think the fetus is a person. That's why you think it's wrong. It's fine. But to act like that's taken out of context is just so crazy. It's like seeing a Muslim person in a debate and they're like, I don't eat pork. And if I don't play the whole context of why they say they don't eat pork, it's taking them out of context. But like, you're Muslim. I think most people know why you don't eat pork. No? I agree. I would just say, labeling people evil is just a blanket term to be able to just cut off any kind of sense of personhood in there. And like I said,
I don't consider them people. So
you don't consider them people?
Nah, they're nah, I'm not. I don't even have a discussion with you because and at the end of the day, I know, especially at this point, dog. At this point, bro, with the whole Kirk situation, bro, I took a video on this shit, dog. Like I've lost faith in humanity at this point.
This is all emotion. Remember when he said the left is emotional? This is all emotion. He saw tragedy. It affected him. He's having that like traumatic response. I don't have to put a trauma word on him, but you get what I'm saying. And he's changed his values because of it. That's an emotional response. You should sit on things, reflect for a long time, think about it. But he's already talking about it and saying my views have shifted. It's okay to pump the brakes after a big. It's like you have an argument with somebody. I fucking hate that. That's emotional. That's when you have to calm it down. I be guilty of it sometimes. I get it.
I am mentally, like emotionally tied to my stance in this regard, dog. Like I could care less about why you feel the way you feel.
But that's why I'm saying this to you. You can't be emotional about this and let it govern you, because that's why you get into the bad spot. Because I need you to understand, you saying this is the exact same stuff that leads to the other people looking at Kirk and saying he's an evil person. And when someone is just evil, killing them is no problem. When someone is evil, you justify the murder.
I understand what you're saying, bro. I understand what you're saying, dog. And prior to Kirk, I probably would have sided with you.
It is what it is.
So he understands the logic. He knows it's correct, but he's not going to side with it because of the emotional experience.
That's what I'm saying. There's sometimes that you guys were agreeing. He wants to agree, but he's like, nah, emotion is blocking him.
But that means he doesn't agree, because that's what's driving him. And listen, emotions are not bad. I'm not here to demonize emotions. No. But you have to be cognizant of what's leading you and also understand what's the basis for your ethics.
No, you don't.
If it's just emotion, it's okay to question that.
When we're saying that, it doesn't mean that you have to walk around being like a robot, emotionless. That's not even better, because you lack empathy.
Right. You lack empathy. This is the last part.
Stay there and lay in the exact same position as how he was killed. They did the same thing with George Floyd. Remember after he died, and motherfuckers sat on the floor while someone had their neck, and they would take these pictures. Look it up. I didn't even make it up. You can find these things. You didn't see it, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? And when those right wingers did that, a lot of them felt bad for it afterwards, and they came back from that. They celebrated and memed on this man's death. Feel how you want about him. To take a picture and make fun of a man's death who was killed in cold blood by a police officer, which is crazy. Doesn't matter about his criminal. I don't care who he was as a person. That officer who did that was wrong. Okay. And the fact that people laughed at that and celebrated it is a fucked up thing. And if you can't admit that, that means you're unprincipled and you have no consistency. I can look at the Kirk thing and say that's wrong. Right. Easy. If you can't look at these other instances and we can all agree they're all wrong. Pretending like only Kirk deserves to be treated fairly after his death. That's crazy.
That's crazy, which is what I keep saying. But every time I say it, Kirk and Floyd, same thing, same way they died, same two human beings. I don't care whether Kirk was the Pope or whatever. That might be something different. But Kirk wasn't a Pope. He wasn't a saint to everybody. Floyd wasn't a saint to everybody. X, Y, and Z. So both of the deaths mean absolutely nothing. They're nothing on the larger scale of things. But the one person that you should not be sitting there celebrating Kirk's life and you danced on Floyd's death because they died the same way at the hands of some goofy person. Okay, some human being that should have been in jail or should be in jail, right where they are. Okay, both are human beings. Yeah, I know they mocked George Floyd. So my whole point is, don't be mad at other people who mocked Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk was no more of a human being than anybody else. Hi, wow AI, just dumb. Why you dumb? Why you come in and say something dumb like that? Just dumb. But you don't bother me because I don't care. Put your picture on your thing. Put your picture on your tab. Dumb.
That means that you have no principle. You just like Kirk. He's special. He's like a god, and only his death needs to be sanctimonious.
Thank you. This is what they acting like. Like his death is the only one that should be sanctimonious. Like his death. Like Kirk's death is the only one.
I say all this to say, even when Malcolm X died, there's people out there celebrating. It's not new. People who are contentious figures, who are political, they had people who hated them. They had people who were glad to see them gone when they passed. Okay.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's always been a reality. The only difference is now everyone got a phone, and everyone feels more important than they actually are. So we all record our reactions. That's the only difference.
At this point, yeah, but it's not as big as now. Nothing is gonna be as big as the next thing. Why? Because of time, because of technology, because of social media. Social media was not what it was, and people back then when the Trayvon thing happened, it was still big, and we still managed to hear about it and see people laughing about it. Yeah, no, it was, to me, same.
Yeah, and it's okay if this one feels different for you, if it feels more impactful. Everything is subjective, right? We all have our different reasons for feeling strongly, but pretending like one life is more important than the others, or one life deserves more recognition than the others, like when you start doing that, you start creating a hierarchy between human life. Oh, Charlie Kirk's more important. It's like, no, all political violence is bad. We should just end point there, right? I hate this thing. I'm like, and then I'm like, what can you? You start deifying people. They're not gods. They're all humans. They all bleed red. So many examples of people laughing at people dying because they didn't like them and they didn't like what they stood for. That happens all the time. And these aren't even political people. These aren't even political people. Actually, that's a good point. People were memeing on folks who weren't even involved in contentious topics. Is motherfuckers existing in a spot or pulled over by the cops and get murdered, and nobody cares. People laughed at them. I'm not saying it should happen. My whole point is this has been a thing for a long time.
It was at this scale?
It might not have been to this scale or in this terms of virality. I'll agree with you there, but I'm just saying people celebrate death. It happens. Paul Pelosi. And actually, that's a great point. If you think that people that celebrate or mock folks who get attacked or that suffer political violence are irredeemable, whatever it is, you understand that means Trump is irredeemable.
How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know?
Do you understand that his son is irredeemable? Because that's what they did after Paul Pelosi. They made their own little memes and laughed at him. I just want us to think, how many more people are you going to condemn? I asked the question, how many more people need to be decapitated? I don't know, he's being eyeballed, but it was still a crazy thing. I'll say this discussion definitely, I feel as though this discussion, that's funny. Yo, leave that in. I feel as though this discussion definitely red-pilled me.
It red-pilled you because he couldn't understand. Then Stevie went over to his channel and people started burning Stevie up at his own channel. I don't know why they was burning Stevie up on his own channel, but they was burning Stevie up on his own channel. Hold on. I forgot. Where the hell did I take the Stevie video? Where the hell did it go? Okay, hold on. Stevie Knight. Okay. Stevie, hold on. Stevie, I got to get Stevie's video back up. Oh, okay. Got exposed. No, hold on. So Stevie's own people in his chat was going off on him, telling him he was a sellout. Okay. Why was they telling him he was a sellout? Here, I'm finna open it up right now. Hold on. I hate that damn music. I hate that boy's music. I swear I hate that boy's music. Here we go. Why were they telling him he was a sellout to his own people? Stevie Knight.
We got bootlicker. We got Coconut. We got Uncle Tom. Sellout is funny. That's an interesting one. That's one I got to get back to. Yeah, man. You know, as of this whole Kirk situation, bro, these labels have been flying at your boy, and it's not something I'm new to, bro. Because when you have, I guess, more.
But see, here's the thing. I personally, I have a problem with people that no, not a problem. Not a problem. There are black conservatives. There are black conservatives. Nobody's saying it's not. But it seems to be there's the new grift going on, in this space where people want to grift to the conservative side. Okay, they want to grift over to the conservative side. And see, here's the thing: people have to worry about what the hell they're thinking when that's all you do is tear down your people, or you tear down. That's just weird to me. If I went to a channel and I saw a white person just tearing down white people, I would think he was good. I would think something was wrong with him. So when I go to a black person channel and that's all they're doing is tearing down black people, you're goofy over there too. And this is what Stevie Knight is doing. He's over there playing goofy and tearing down his own people. That's how Candace Owens is. That's why she's another goofy to me. She's another goofy, and there's a couple other ones. It just is what it is. I just call all y'all goofy. I'm not going to call you no coon or nothing like that. I let everybody else call you the coon. But this is what he is.
Conservative takes. And I hate even putting that label on things, man. But, perception is reality, man. If you saying something that aligns with certain ways and certain eyes, they put you in this box. Right. And, black man with more of a conservative take on things, the black culture is going to despise. I mean, your boy done got death threats from strangers, bro. Like, it's like that, bro. That's a whole different conversation, man. But like, it ain't even the words, the labels, like the name calling that bother me. It's what it means at the core is my issue, man. You know what I mean? Because when I get those labels tossed at me, I know exactly who I'm talking to, and I know that there's no talking to them. Right? Like, if you come to the point to, label someone, and I know what that means in the black community too, bro. It's like,
right.
If you black, being called a coon or Uncle Tom, bootlicker, or whatever, it's like the worst thing ever because they're pretty much saying you ain't black. Right? And just that, like, just on that alone, what that stands for, it's like thinking black people need to be a monolith. Like, all black people need to.
Thank you, Repink. Remember for 8 months. 8 months in HQ. Thank you.
That's a whole nother problem in itself, man. The reality of the situation is that black people are not a monolith. And y'all want black people to be a monolith, bro. And that's not it. And it's racist, bro. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, right? Regardless of what it is that I'm saying.
But see, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with black people being conservative. What I have a problem is if you don't know the absolute truth of why you're here or you're there. Why are you over there as a conservative if all you have to say is, oh yeah, black people, they commit crime and all that good stuff. You should never be in a party. You should never subscribe to a party if that party is not fulfilling something that you want to happen in your life or you want to happen in this country. I don't understand why you would be a black Republican, because they're for the rich people. Mostly rich people. The only way you should be over there voting a Republican is if you're rich, because they don't have any policies. They haven't presented any policies. I haven't seen any policies. Anybody can give me a policy? I'd love to see one. This administration's policy. I'd love to see one because they don't have any. So the whole point is, I don't understand what, and most people got in his comment section and started saying, why the hell are you a black Republican when they don't have no policy for you? Definitely don't have no policy for you. Okay. And you definitely shouldn't be voting over there because if you don't have to make over 200,000, you definitely shouldn't be over there voting because they're not doing anything for the middle class. They just don't have a platform built for the middle class. This is what the people in his chat section were saying. So he's saying after he had the debate with Charlie with Abba, his whole comment section lit his ass up. We're not talking about what a woman is, Gates. We're talking about the Republican Party not having a platform or doing anything for poor people. Stick to the subject. Stick to the subject. When you stick to the subject, we can talk. If you want to ask me a question and you want me to answer a question, put it in the super chat.
View me and judge me on what I'm saying based on my skin tone is racist. And personally, for me, dog, like the amount of racism I've ever experienced ever in life is, especially now, I know for sure.
You can't receive it from a black person. A black person is bigoted. There's bigoted, not racist. That's the difference between white people and black people. White people can be racist because they have all the power and the structure and the systematic stuff. A black person can be bigoted, not racist.
Sure, this is the most amount of racism I've personally experienced throughout my entire life, right? From the
You still saying, Gates, you still saying, yeah, aha? Are you still out there saying, aha? And your president is performing at the worst that they can be performing at this time, and you're out there still saying, aha? Everybody is exposing your party. Gates, you got to grow up, man. You got to grow up.
Yeah, from the flooding of it, man. Well, it makes sense, though, because I got a lot of eyes on me.
Same reason why crackers is in boxes, Kurt.
That shit brings out the demons for real, for real. You know what I mean? And I've had my racist experiences throughout my life, trust me. But those situations were based on like more of one-on-one encounters or things that I thought may have been happening that could have been due to racism, things I couldn't necessarily prove, you know what I'm saying? But I'm from Georgia, bro. Went to school in down south Georgia, bro. You know what I'm saying? Had cotton fields next to my college, bro. Like the slave trade went through where my college was, man. So,
right.
And I don't know how it is now, but back then, bro, racism was still alive and thriving, boy. And I used to live from the lens of the people that, you know, despise me so much from my perspective, man. It's definitely an interesting position to be in, man. But
the problem is you have one issue voters.
I mean, just remove it. Don't nothing compare to how the black community holds the black community down. That's exemplified through what I've been talking about this whole time, because the black folks are holding black folks down by keeping themselves in this little black box, right? When all I'm saying is just have the conversation, right? Just consider the conversation.
We did have a conversation. We understand what the conversation is. Okay. No, we understand what the conversation is. Your chat, you the one who have all the viewers, your chat said you're a coon. Your chat said you're a coconut. Your chat saying you're a sellout. Why is your chat, Stevie Knight, why is your chat calling you a coon?
I mean, just remove your heart from it for a minute and just have a conversation. Just be open to the conversation. Nobody asking you to change your mind, just asking you to listen, right? Not demonize. Try not to be triggered by things that you are triggered by emotionally, man. When somebody says black people do this, you get triggered by hearing black people do this, but black people.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. When you say black people do X, Y, and Z, you don't say some black people. You say black people. And then white people run with that black people. I've never twerked in my life. I've never cussed another human being out in my life. I've never raised my hand to another human being. Yet and still, I would be put in the same category as a bum Keisha in the projects. Never been in the projects, raised by a two-parent household, married for 30 years, raised all of my children in marriage. All of my children are grown. None of them are drug addicts. None of them are in jail. Yet and still, a lot of white people would look at me and think that I am what I'm not. Okay? So my whole thing is, when you have conservatives saying black people do this, you don't say some black people. You always say most of, or you just say black people. That's the problem that I have with it. He's always in his video saying black people. He's not saying some black people. Okay? And white people most definitely never say some black people. That's the whole point. We're not all a monolith. We don't all do bullshit things. And it's a small percentage that of us that are poor. There's only 22% of black people that are poor. But most people think black people are poor. That's wild to me that y'all don't Google jack shit. You just believe everything you hear.
People do this, right? It's a fact. You know what I mean? When it is a fact. You know what I'm saying? When it is a fact. I'm not talking about someone.
So I'm saying I'm not the stereotype. Yet and still I got people in here telling me I need to get my baby daddy in order. I got people in here telling me I need your X, Y, and Z. That I'm poor. I am on food stamps. I just don't understand how you don't understand it's not all black people. And it's not all white people either. And I'm not saying all white people are racist. No, I don't believe that. Absolutely not. You're supposed to take each individual person by each individual person. That's how you're supposed to do that. Okay?
When out here really on some bullshit trying to mischaracterize black people or demonize black people. I'm talking about those just like Kirk, for example, when he says,
what?
No black folks commit the most crime. Regardless of what the situation is, the scenario is.
So when somebody says most black folks commit the most crime, don't you think that gives people the wrong impression, specifically when it's not true? If you say it a lot, you say it enough, people are going to believe it. And this is what he's saying. This is what I'm saying. If you're going to quote the stats correctly. And don't put every person into the slot. Okay? There are 20, if you look it up, Google it, anywhere that you want to. It's about 22, 23% black people are poor. So that means at least 70% of us are not poor. So why is it that we get the rap that most of us are poor? Okay? When that's not true.
Reasoning for it or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Black folks commit the most crime per capita, but people get triggered. What you mean?
And why are we always saying this per capita shit? Okay? Why is it that we're saying per capita? That's just wild to me.
Why you bringing that up? It's just a fact. So can we talk about why that is? All right. No.
But it's not a fact. You don't have your statistics. Okay? You told us that you didn't want to look up stats when you were arguing with arguing with Abba. You wanted somebody else to look up the stats because you didn't understand how to present the facts so you would get the accurate result. Okay? So you have to come with facts when you want to argue with Abba. You just do. And your audience saw you for what you were. Your audience saw you for a sellout, for a pretender like Candace Owens. Okay? Now we go back to Abba. And we go back to Abba. Because this is a war that's been going on for the past couple of weeks. Mad. People mad.
There's a titled video called Damn, Is ABBA Fake?
I cannot say that I saw this coming. ABBA ain't no stranger to doing the extra. So
Okay, so I'm gonna just summarize this first point, but I'll link the video below so you guys can go watch it. For those of you who didn't watch the debate, consider yourselves lucky. Here's a recap.
I feel like it felt like I didn't feel like. I feel like. Do you feel like? I feel like I could care less about why you feel.
And that's all Stevie kept saying to Abba is all you lefties are emotional. And that's all Stevie was all emotion. He was emotional all the way through the whole debate with Abba. He was the one that was emotional. It wasn't Abba. Abba was bringing facts, statistics, and he was emotionless almost to the point of being, very unemotional. And this person was very emotional.
The way you feel. I'm not a fucking machine. They need to be controlled. They need to be decapitated to feel.
They need to be controlled. They need to be decapitated. Who needs to be decapitated? Who needs to be controlled? What kind of conversation is that? about human beings.
I feel like everybody's going to feel differently. There is emotion tied to it, bro. I'm a human being. Some children are born in fucked up circumstances, bro. It is what it is. What it is. So logically, it is what it is. Oh, that's cap.
That's cap. Did you Google it? Did you Google it?
I don't need to Google it. Somebody Google it in the chat. I don't even need to look up the stat. Every motherfucker engaged in evil could burn.
During our debate, there was a discussion about school food lunches, starvation, food insecurity. Stevie and Kirk were constantly making this point that like kids are not starving, so we don't need these free lunches in school. There's other ways for the kids to get food. Okay, and that's pretty much the general gist of it. I try to explain that like not everyone has good parents. Food stamps are not always accessible. 7-year-old can't apply for food stamps. Steve's like, listen, it's not a real problem. Kids are not emaciated, dying on the side of the street. And he harps on the fact that during the debate, Stevie himself was talking about starvation, like third world starvation, like kids, skinny bones, big belly, dying, you know?
Right. This isn't fucking people. It's not a famish going on. People are not dying because
they're not dying, but
famish.
I was talking about that. You were talking about a different problem that's less serious, and it's kind of disingenuous of you, Abba, to misrepresent me.
We can't be switching words out now, man. Food insecurity is entirely different than starving. That was the question posed in that debate with Kirk.
Now here's where I'll be accountable. Shouldn't have used the word starvation when I was talking, man. Even though us in colloquial terms, like, yo, I'm starving today, I need to eat. In a discussion, you should define terms. That's my fault.
You also give yourself a 3 out of 10.
For the debate performance?
Yes.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. What I don't like is this very bad faith interpretation on his behalf. When him and Kirk argue against school lunches, them talking about starvation, these programs were never implemented to stop famine. They were not put in place so that kids were about to die on the side of the street and like, hey, here's a little sandwich at lunchtime.
Right.
They were put in place to combat malnutrition because a lot of folks who didn't have access to food would show up, not eat, and their performance levels at school were bad. They couldn't pay attention. That's what the program's about. I personally think it's incredibly bad faith to come to a debate about a topic, about a policy, and argue against something that's never intended for. And throughout the debate with him too, I mentioned it. If you just Google it, it's like so many kids today here in America, you could look it up, the statistics, that have malnutrition, that have food scarcity, that have all these problems. It stunts their growth. It fucks them up in terms of their academic success. If we were talking about kids dying on the side of the street, why the would I be talking about the fact that they won't get a good grade? And who cares? If we were talking about something that was terminal, I think I'd probably be like, how do we save these kids from dying?
I understand what you're trying to say. What I don't understand is why the are we debating school lunches?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know why we debating school lunches. For some god-awful reason, people don't want to give free lunches to kids. I don't understand that at all. There should be a program where every school should get free lunch. Every kid should get free lunch. Everywhere you go, every kid should get free lunch. And it shouldn't be a debate as to how we spend it. Get some of the money from foreign countries that we send over there and then make sure that everybody gets free lunch. I'm not debating somebody about free lunch. I'm not debating you. Whether you got money or you don't have money, a kid should be able to eat free lunch. No, Abba's not married, so he doesn't have any kids, not that I know of. Okay? So this is what the whole argument is about. Charlie Kirk said he didn't want to help fund free lunches for poor kids or any kids whatsoever. And then that's the whole point. When you say stuff like that, don't be surprised when people look at you like you're a monster. Okay? Don't look at me like I'm weird if I call Charlie Kirk a monster because he didn't want to help feed poor kids. What were you for? What was Charlie Kirk for? What did he believe in? It seems like he didn't believe in nothing. Because he damn sure didn't believe in the Christian values, and the Christian values is to help poor people. So what did he believe in? If you don't help nobody, you don't want to help no adults, you don't want to help nobody else, who did you believe in helping? If not kids. Okay? I want somebody to put it in the chat. You want me to read a question? Put it in the super chat. Put it in the chat. What did he believe in? He didn't believe in civil right. He didn't believe in equal pay, equal rights. He didn't believe none of that. What did he believe in? He didn't believe in feeding the most vulnerable us in the world. He didn't believe in helping adults, elderly. What did he believe in? Okay, because that's not big Christian value. As far as I'm concerned, the more I get to know Charlie Kirk, the less he believes in the Christian values. Okay, the less he believes in Christian values, the more I get to know this man.
Like you're trying to make a whole point about F them kids.
You know, you're shitty parents. I get it, dog. This life is fucking hard, dog. And some children are born in fucked up circumstances, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah, but no school lunches. What? Why do you go against that?
I know.
That's the debate.
That's the debate. That was the debate. That was the debate. Charlie thought he was winning points. For some god-awful reason, Stevie thought he was winning points by backing Charlie, and Charlie thought he was winning points by telling people that he didn't give a shit about poor kids. Yes. And that's the problem right there. That particular stance that Charlie Kirk had should open people's eyes right there that he was not a very good person. He was not a very good steward of human beings. Okay? This is what he said out of his mouth. What human being who is living Christ-like, who is living the religious life, who is living like he said he is, and he says, no, I'm not going to feed poor people. What human being says that and they're supposed to be Christian? So that's what I'm saying. He wasn't very Christian to me. So I did, do you care anything clear? Do you care about kids? Yes. I told you the 4 things that I care about. Everybody knows the 4 things I care about.
Y'all don't want to give that to kids, but prisoners get it. Military members get it. A whole bunch of different adults get it. Also, aren't we a first world country? Like, just because we're not dealing with third world country problems, don't we solve them all the time? It's like saying, yo, we don't need to make our roads better because we don't have dirt roads like third world country.
Show me.
There's no Flock 53. There is no missing context. There is no missing context. In the Bible, specifically all the time, the homeless, the people that couldn't feed themselves, they got fed. I care about American kids first, and then other kids around the world second. America first.
Me a single child in America going hungry doesn't exist.
That's just not true.
We have a child obesity problem, not a child starvation problem.
What does obesity have to do with children starving? Nothing.
Problem in this country.
I don't understand this thing where it's like it has to be one or the other. You could have rich and poor people, you can have educated people, and Stevie Knight. Both of those things can all coexist like that.
Americans don't know what starving is. We don't know what starving is, man. But
Osmos, you really need to get with the program. You really need to get with the program that Charlie was not a saint. You really need to get with that program. Okay? You really do. Because a person that says that they don't want to help children, yes, you can have people who are obese and you can have children that are starving at the same time. You don't get to say because you're fat, then nobody is starving. You don't get to, that's not how that works. Okay? And that's what Charlie is trying to bring. He's trying to be a sleight of hand. Oh, we don't have nobody starving in this country. Oh, we got fat people in this country. So because we got fat people in this country, we ain't got nobody starving in this country. That's not how that works. Okay? That's not how that works.
I see what he's doing here. He's playing semantics and moving the goalpost with this conversation, bro.
I love how you accuse me of playing semantics.
We're not talking about obesity, Flock 53. We're talking about starving children. We're talking about school lunches. That's basically what we're talking about. Why is it that we can afford to send money over to Ukraine, afford to send money to Israel, but we cannot give schools money to feed kids free food? That's the point. That's the whole point. Sometimes you can't go to family members. Other family members are poor. Sometimes you can't go to the church. Sometimes you can't make it to the church. But they do try to make it to school. You do have to be at school. So if you have to be at school, then why not feed the kids when you're there?
Antics.
That's what
He
doing.
spent 13 minutes talking about starvation versus food insecurity and not getting enough meals.
That's comedy gold right there.
If you talk like that about kids not having access to food,
No
is it
wonder.
any wonder why people think you guys are monsters?
Bro,
Right.
here we go, bro.
You can't be
He
mad.
taking me
We
out of
think you're a
context
monster.
again. See, I
Can't
ain't
be
shit. He ain't shit.
That's
Every time someone
right.
Outside of the generalization of black folk, because your boy got some ghetto fatigue.
that video is one of his most disliked videos.
Mhm.
And he hasn't talked about the criticism he got in that video. He hasn't talked about the backlash. He didn't make a follow-up on that one. His audience was shitting on him en masse. Why? Because they're like, yo, Nick Fuentes is based. He's right about what he's saying. You don't have to believe me. Go look at Night Talk channel and see the kind of content he produces. And then you come tell me why people might think you a sellout. Maybe they don't want you to manufacture a narrative that only the black community seems to have problems, because that's all you ever.
Yo, see, the problem is the darkling. The problem is he's had too many things. He's had too many things that make him look bad, that put him in a bad light. Too many things. So when are you all just going to admit he wasn't as nice as people think you think he was? If every person that has ran into his clips see the clips and they say, "Oh shit, something wrong here." Not every person liked Charlie Kirk. I don't care one way or the other. He's just a human being. But you can't, just because you love him doesn't mean every person sees him in the light that you see him in. Okay? As I see clips, as I see reels of him, I see more and more the issue that people had with Charlie Kirk. I see the issue that people had with him. Okay?
Or talk about. That's something that's always interesting to me, is like black conservatives will often get very defensive when they get called out on stuff. But it's like, sometimes it's not about what you say, it's about what you don't say. It's a lack of fairness. Imagine being in a family, you and your siblings all cause problems, and your parent only comes after you to scold you. At some point, you'd be like, shit, I know I'm fucking up, but like, bro and sis fucking up too. He might lie.
Conversions, why do you keep asking me a question? Put it in the super chat. You want me to answer the question? Put it in the super chat. That'd be amazing. That'd be nice. Please put questions in the super chat. That'd be great. It's a gazillion questions flying at me. I don't have time to look at everybody's question. You want me to answer the question? You want to have a question you want it read out loud? Please put it in the super chat. That'd be amazing. Do anybody see me flooded with super chats? No, you don't.
Right now, he might say, oh, disproportionate. Like, no, there's some crimes that even when you go proportionate, white people commit more. If you want to look at political violence, which you...
Nobody's Kirk bashing. That's not the point. Nobody's Kirk bashing. That's what y'all don't get. Nobody's Kirk bashing. We're just telling you as how we see him. We didn't even know the man. Everybody's coming at us like, oh, Kirk is so good. Kirk is such a beautiful person. He just had the truth. He told the truth. He was the light and the day, and unicorn shone out of his ass. And then now that we trying to see where the hell we see this light shining out of his ass, we don't see the light shining out of his ass. No, I'm speaking about their debate. You're the one making it about Charlie. Nobody's making it about Charlie. Stevie should not have took a stand that he had no business taking. He took the stand of Charlie Kirk. We're talking about his stand.
You seem to care so much about, since you made 20 videos on your daddy Kirk. That's almost exclusively white. But if I'm wrong, Stevie, prove it. Why don't you spend the next year covering the other stuff? Let's see how well your channel going to do. Let's see them dislikes. Let's see how your audience that you think are there for you, and not because you're a bootlicker, let's see how long they last. Ooh, and if I'm wrong, you know what, I'm Stevie? I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll give you 50 grand if you spend a year doing that kind of content, because there's evil, right? It's about evil.
It should be a good versus evil thing.
I'll put 50 grand in escrow and I'll watch. And you show me the analytics. You show me the audience you cultivated. I don't want to talk about feelings. I want to see facts.
The thing that happened is that you probably just found the reason.
Woo! He told him, I pay you 50 G's if you start bashing the white folks. He said, I'll give you 50 G's if you start bashing the white folks. That's what he's saying. Put your money where, if it's about good and evil, show us the white people evil. Because you always showing them the black people evil, show them the white people evil. And let's see how your channel goes. This is what Abba is saying. Okay? Because your channel is growing because you have white people over there and you have black people over there bashing black people. Put some content on there that's bashing white people. Let's see how far your channel goes. Okay? Because none of y'all like to hear bashing about yourselves. None of y'all do. Okay? But you damn sure don't want to hear no opposition to what you want to do. None of y'all. I'm here telling you that Charlie Kirk was just a regular, ordinary human being, and that's all I get is pushback. No, Charlie was beautiful. Charlie was a saint. No, he wasn't. He was just a regular, ordinary human being that spoke out loud. That's it. Let's do the next video. The next video. This is him going at Abba again. Him going at Abba again. Why don't you stop digging, Stevie? Stop digging. But he can't help himself because he got fronted off by Abba. But he can't shut his mouth.
Bitch.
So,
Note. You know what I'm saying? But I had enough rapport with him to reach out to him, see if he wanted to discuss the whole Kirk situation, man. You know what I mean? I knew his perspective was opposite mine. You know what I mean? And I figured we was two commonsensical, reasonable individuals that would be able to participate in a debate and make it productive. And, you know.
Yeah, but the difference between Abba and Stevie is that all Stevie's content is about black people. Black people ain't shit. Black men don't like black women. Black women ain't shit. Black women twerk. Black men X, Y, and Z. Black men commit murder. Black men, black men, black women, black men, black men. You don't never hear him say anything about white folks, just like we never heard Charlie Kirk say anything about white folks. We never heard Charlie talk about white on white crime. We never heard Charlie talk about white people in the ghetto. We never heard Charlie Kirk talk about white people are poor. We never heard Charlie Kirk say anything about those things. Now, why is it that you get more traction talking about your opposite race? You get more traction with your channels, with your ministry, with your going around on these campuses. You get more traction when you talk about black people. That's what Charlie got. Charlie got the most traction when he talked about black people. Same thing with Stevie. That's all he's getting is traction when he talks about black people. Why is it you don't talk about your own people? Talk about white trailer trash. Talk about white trailer trash. If you're a white person, talk about white trailer trash. If you're a white person, talk about white on white crime. Okay? That's the whole point. This is what Abba's saying. Abba's saying, this is what Charlie did. This is what Stevie is doing. And he said, I'll give you 50 grand if you talk about white on white crime, the way you talk about black on black crime. Because there's evil on both sides, right? There's evil on the white side, and there's evil on the black side. Talk about the trailer. Talk about the white people that be twerking. Talk about the white people who smoke meth. Talk about the white people who do X, Y, and Z. Don't just talk about black people. This is what Abba is saying.
Thought-provoking for those watching it, man. And I thought the interview or conversation, debate went smoothly, bro. You know what I mean? I ain't have no qualms or quarrels with it at all, bro. So I was definitely surprised seeing that he dropped the video in response to the debate, you know, which highlighted me in a certain way. After watching that video, I reached out to Abba directly because I'm not with this messy shit, dog. I swear I'm not. You know what I mean? And this is good for business regardless, dog. Regardless of how I'm perceived or how I'm looking, bro.
So you have to ask yourself how he was so in love. I just love me some Charlie Kirk. How many videos did this dude do about Charlie Kirk before Charlie Kirk died? Not too many. So now you want to do all these videos about Charlie Kirk after he died, which basically means you're being advantageous. You're being an opportunist, which is what Abba is trying to tell him. Stop, and what his audience is trying to tell him. Stop being an opportunist.
But it is good for business. He give me views or whatnot. Despite where his views coming from, it's still views. And people that know me enough, rock with me, they know what type of time I'm on, dog. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about any narratives and manufactured narratives from Abba, dog. You can follow me enough. You know what type of time I'm on. I ain't got shit to prove to nobody, dog. But, I still need to provide my perspective. You know what I mean? But with that, reached out to Abba after I peeped the video of him highlighting me a certain way. He didn't respond. So I dropped my response video, man, and gave my perspective. I thought his video was disingenuous. I thought it was fake, given what we discussed in our debate. And then we're here now, man. Before I dive into this, bro, just gonna show y'all the numerous opportunities, numerous times I tried to holler at bro, dog. You know what I mean? Because real shit, dog. There's nothing here. Maybe it is to y'all. There's nothing here enough for me to be giving this amount of energy to, man. But Abba is swarming to it like flies on shit.
Y'all make sure y'all hitting the like button, please and thank you, please and thank you. I would appreciate the like or the hate, whichever one you want to give. Like and hate. Any questions that you have, put them in the super chat. That would be amazing. Thank you very much. No, don't defend Stevie. Stevie got his own shit. Stevie needs to correct himself. Stevie needs to correct himself. Okay? But you see a lot of channels out here, it's just complete bashing. As though black people are the only people on this planet. Like black people are the only people that are trailer trash. Like black people are the only one doing drugs. Like black people are the only ones twerking. Here's the thing. Us black people are only 15% of the community. 13% of the. Don't you think that other community that is worth 60% are still doing the same things we're doing, maybe even worse? Why is it you've never heard? It's 60% of white people in this country. You think they don't have no fuckery and no degeneracy? Where's the channels that are highlighting their shit? Where's the channels? No, because you only like to defend, you only like to highlight the black shit. Okay? All I'm saying is I want to see some white channels come out there with some fuckery. I want to see some white channels.
Has me perplexed, bro, because it ain't, like I said before, I'm not like no popping crazy viral ass YouTuber that get views off of, bro. I mean, I don't know if this is just his MO to get views or stir the pot, dog. I don't know Abba enough to give a fuck about it. I could care less about what he says or what y'all think, but I'm not gonna just let whatever he about to say slide. Watch this video, dog. But look, tried to holler at bro plenty of times, bro. I'm gonna show y'all what type.
Okay, let's listen.
This is what I think it is, and I still think it is, bro. But it wasn't no negative energy there. He didn't show me that he was pressed about it, and he definitely didn't tell me he was gonna make a video essentially calling me out. I thought the conversation was cool, and then to watch a video of him talking crazy was unexpected. None of that energy was in our conversation. But anyway, enjoy these easy short-term bucks selling out your own people. My response: I hit you up before I dropped the vid, but got no response from you. If you up to it, we can get back on camera or have a chat offline, because this ain't it. I'm not gonna be doing the back and forth online stuff, so let me know. If not, it's cool. Appreciate the look. LOL, you're a clown. Called me a liar and manipulator multiple times before I said a word. Now you want to hop on the call, man. Carry on grifting. Bro, sound like a female, don't he?
Damn. Abba said, go take a fucking flying leap off a short pier. A short pier. The point is, he should stay his ass out of debating. That's all. Especially debating. The first person that you jump out there to debate is Abba, and Abba always have his shit tight. Okay? Abba always have his shit tight.
You sound like.
And he reached out to Abba and said, hey, Abba, I don't want to be doing this back and forth fighting with you. And Abba said, take a flying leap.
Like a female, bro. I showed my girl this shit, bro. And she was like, man, it sounds like it's a girl trying to break up with you. Oh, man. Okay, this is what I said. When did I call you a liar and manipulator? And what are you referring to when saying before you said a word? And as I stated previously, I DM'd you before recording my response video, but got no response. I was confused when he said liar and manipulator, but he was just addressing how I called him like fake and manufacturing a narrative, bro. You know what I mean? But like me saying liar and manipulator, those words didn't come out my mouth. Those are going to hit different, have a negative tone. I was careful with my words, wanted to call it out, but not be aggressive and make someone feel some type of way doing it, bro. So I never called him a liar and manipulator. But now, you know, he said I can understand how he put those together. Then he says, do you know what the words coming out your mouth even mean? In your video on us before we ever spoke, you said you intentionally edited the clip to take Kirk out of context. Right. And you said you're just manufacturing a narrative. And he clearly did. He didn't agree that he manufactured a narrative because he said the whole world.
No, Abba was talking the same way that you always talk, that Stevie talked, that most fans of Charlie talk. Most fans of Charlie keep saying we take things out of context. Nobody is taking anything out of context from what Charlie Kirk said. From my understanding, people thought he was a shitty person. I'm not going to say he's a shitty person. What I am going to say is he was less than Christ-like. And and his personality was less to be desired. That's what I'm going to say about Charlie Kirk. That's it. Less to be desired.
Knows that Kirk is a Christian, so they're going to know why he doesn't support abortion. I disagree.
Stevie, if someone says, I'm anti-abortion, I'm a Christian, we know why you don't want an abortion.
In that clip you put, he didn't say he was Christian, though. He just said, she just gave an example, and he said, no, she can have a baby. He didn't say he was Christian.
Right.
This guy was all over the world, all over the news.
But you're making an assumption, though, bro. You're making an assumption.
I'm not making an assumption.
Everybody doesn't know Kirk, bro.
No, everybody who saw that clip of him getting murdered knew he was a political speaker who's Christian. There's not a person who didn't see that clip, who didn't see the news reports, who didn't know what he was.
That's absolutely cap, bro. That's cap. That's not true. That's not true. You can't speak for everybody in the world, dog. I know personally because I talk to people now that had no idea who the fuck Kirk was. Now they see him on his timeline going, and they don't know who the fuck he is. That's false, bro.
Every person that ran up on the Charlie Kirk and seen the murder knew what Charlie Kirk was within 5 to 10 minutes. Most people knew what Charlie was, who Charlie was, where he was associated with, all those things. 5 minutes after he was shown being murdered. Okay. It just was what it was. Yes, he's emotional about it because he has to defend some bullshit. I'd be emotional too if I had to defend that bullshit. If I had to defend those stances. Specifically on the, I'll let my daughter have a child of the rapist. Okay? Of course I would be upset. But he went down this path. So since you went down this path, you got to take the L. But he don't want to take the L.
Yo, I don't even care that you said it, but for you to cry after we did our vid like you were betrayed, LMAO, bro, you might be one of the most bad faith, dumb people I've ever interacted with. It's just sad that you're doing this at the expense of your own people, kids, and anyone else for your grift. Make 10 more videos crying about Kirk now. Sorry, your white zaddy dying changed your life.
Abba is going in. Abba saying, don't fuck with me. Because they got more views. He got more viewerships than Abba. Abba and them got more viewers than he does. More subs than he does. Abba saying, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me out of your grift. And most of the time, these are grift. Maybe he do have the feel. Maybe he do feel the way he feels. We don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell whether he's a grifter, a coon, whatever. I can't tell.
Yeah. This is who Abba is, bro. This is who Abba is, dog. Let y'all know. But y'all, I mean, Team Abba, y'all are gonna be, yes, I love it. The racism, the white demon. Anybody out here sympathizing for a man assassinated like that is an Uncle Tom. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I can hear it now, bro. This shit is fucked up. Anyway.
I sympathized with Charlie Kirk as a human being. But nobody would accuse me of being a coon or a bootlicker or anything else. You can have sympathy for somebody dying and not be aligned with what they thought. I have sympathy for Charlie Kirk. I'm just not aligned with his thought. So people wouldn't call me a bootlicker.
or miscommunication in regards to this whole situation. And I'm doing.
Let's start at the beginning. He said what? What did you say?
Sunday now. Today's Thursday. This is Sunday. Nah, I'm not pretending anything, bro. Shit don't add up to me. You're clearly triggered and emotional over something I'm missing. And you clearly feel away because of my manufacturing a narrative statement. But we discussed this on camera, and you didn't have this energy during our conversation. We simply agreed to disagree. You didn't have any negative energy at all from what I could see, but your tone changed in the response video to our conversation. In addition to painting me in a certain way, cherry picking videos to make your point and taking me out of context. As I stated in my response to yours, I believed your response to be very disingenuous and fake. I still didn't have any negative energy though. If that's how you want to get views, get your views. I still have no ill will now. It's not that serious. I just realized there must be something else going on here or miscommunication in regards to this whole situation. And I'm doing my part to get to the bottom of it, but it is what it is, bro. But with that, I reached out to you on DMs the day before I posted, got no response, so I posted my perspective. All this could have been handled if you chopped with me after the debate, but hey, you do what you do. All right, so we squared now. We had this whole conversation, right?
But he's still upset.
On camera, at the end of the day, he died. Somebody took my person away from
So you don't think the fact that everybody can see your father die and have that?
I hate that, Jedi. I hate it too. People just hide behind their race. You keep saying there is no white privilege. Only a white person would say that. That's the problem.
Accessible 24/7 on social media is not going to make the situation any different than having him die.
No, it makes it different. It makes it different. But from a moral standpoint, it's the exact same. There's no difference in morality.
Well, morality is a different conversation. I'm just talking about tragedy. Try to, I guess, set up trap cards or whatnot, where I'm just coming for a casual conversation. But it makes sense. It makes sense because he felt a type of way from my first video. He just didn't let me know on some bitch shit. Right? That's bitch shit, dog. Like, say it with your chest. Let me know. But all this extra shit, this weirdo shit, this YouTube shit, this fake, this YouTube beef, dog. He didn't want to speak back with me face to face or on the phone. He had to save all this extra whole shit for the camera to perform for y'all, to make Stevie look like the fucking Uncle Tom, bro. Like, I get it, bro. You can play this game, dog, but the hoest sucker shit ever, bro. Like, I was a bitch. Plain simple, bro. He's a bitch. He's a victimhood bitch out here crying, emotional as fuck because he felt some type of way by what I said and didn't have the balls enough to let me know how he felt.
Right.
And gonna cry about it later. We talking about the same debate now for fucking 3 times. What the fuck is the point? To slander Stevie? All right. But this is such whole shit, bro. This is such whole shit, dog. Ooh, this is bad, dog. This is not how men move, bro. Regardless of how the fuck y'all feel, regardless of how y'all Abba Glazers, I mean, y'all are gonna rock with it, bro. Cause y'all be doing this, y'all be doing the same shit in the comments, talking all this.
Well, he got upset because Abba called him out, and Abba was like, "No, I'm not gonna deal with you on this level because you don't understand what you said and what you didn't say. You said X, Y, and Z. So since you said X, Y, and Z, and this is the way you feel, then this is where we're going to stand." So I'm sure that they're going to come out with another video. They're going to come out with some more fighting. They're going to come out fighting again, yet again, okay, over this Charlie Kirk thing, okay? It's not only white people saying there is no such thing as white privilege. That's the problem, the Dark King 40. That's the problem. When it's so hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. If you walk around in La La Land like you don't know that there is an issue, then that's the white privilege we're talking about. It's some of you that are cool who understand that white privilege thing, but some of y'all who still seem to think we're the victim. Stop playing the victim, black girl. Stop playing the victim. It's not playing the victim. Okay? That's not what that is. But it is what it is. We didn't come here to talk about that. I just came to do the ABBA and the Steve video. The ABBA and the Steve video. And the real debate is tonight. You all got to come back for the real debate tonight. The real debate is, y'all see the thumbnail, or has the thumbnail got out there? I don't know. The thumbnail. What the hell is the thumbnail? I keep forgetting what tonight's debate is at 10 o'clock. What are we talking about tonight? We're talking about tonight, what is it? Black MAGAs and liberals. Gaza. I think it's the victim mentality. I'm not sure. It might be the AB issue. It'll be on the thumbnail. It'll be on the thumbnail. Okay? Low handsome woman's great. But this is just the ABBA and Preach just to get that fight out there. I appreciate y'all showing up. I'll be back at 10 o'clock. Definitely be back at 10 o'clock. Want to check out why, what is it? P. Diddy got 50 months. He got 50 months. Does that mean he got to do 50 months in jail? Or does that mean he do 50 months? He got 50 months probation. He got time served, then 50 months probation. I can't tell. But y'all hit the like button coming in and out, please and thank you. I will see some of y'all at 10 o'clock. That's when we got the call-in show. We call in, come on the panel, talk about all of these issues. It'll be on the thumbnail. It really will be on the thumbnail. But I appreciate y'all coming out. I will be back at 10 o'clock. I will be back at 10 o'clock.